just about the smartest thing you can do.
Mhm.
I love real estate. I love multifamily for that reason too. And, all cards on the table, I have basically zero in a 401k as well
Mhm.
for that reason. We put all of our money into real estate just because I like it so much. So how did that go? I mean, was that scary where people were like, oh, it's foolish. Like it's hard to go against the grain a little bit, in my opinion. I mean, what was that like for you?
Yeah, man. Like you said, like society has always, taught us that you shouldn't be cashing out your 401k retirement accounts, that it is risky. Honestly, like looking back, it was the best decision I ever made because not only did it help me get started, but since then, a lot of that money has coming back to me. And now I own a lot of these assets that produce cash flow, which the 401k system never did. That's one of the flaws. There's a lot of flaws that are baked into the 401k system. But looking back, all those risks that people tell you, whether it's friends, family, coworkers, whatever it might be, all those risks are real. So put some weight on them. But on the other side of the balance scale is another risk. And it's this: I could be 80 years old one day, laying in my bed, staring at the ceiling, kicking myself because I never fucking tried anything in life. How about that risk? That's a risk too that most people don't talk about.
Oh man. So I've thought about this so much in the last couple of years. For some reason, I guess it's because once you start doing these projections,
Hmm.
you get to thinking more and more and more. And this podcast is about mindset. So I like to think of the why, I like to think of the future. And part of that is analyzing what's gone wrong with this 401k system and why aren't we talking about it more? And then
Yeah.
just exactly what you said is like, while you're young, or maybe even not young, let's say you're 50, 55, take a leap, because what do you have to lose? Really, I did like this little video of like retirement math. How much money do you need to retire? And it's kind of like the point of the video was either you need a bucket of money, like a big bucket that you can
Hmm.
pull from, or you need something cash flowing that can produce income while you sleep. You might
Hmm.
have to work for that a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. That conversation just doesn't get talked about enough. And I love your style of like, either you can take a risk, dive in, or you can just kind of keep clicking away. And it's kind of a bummer because I think a lot of people don't love their daily life. There's another way to do it. So I love your style.
Yeah, 100%, man. The cash flow is the biggest thing, but like to look back at my particular situation with the 401k, it's like, yeah, I withdrew that money. I paid a lot of penalties and fees, which is crazy. First of all, it's like, this is, if you go to, it's your own money, right? So if you go to a standard bank or credit union to take out a withdrawal of your own money, they're going to give you your money, right? But like with the 401k system, like that's a slice of your hard-earned, income and labor time that you'll never get back. But if you go to them and say, hey, I want to do a withdrawal, they're going to charge you a 10% penalty to the Fed. Depending on where you live, you might pay state income tax and a penalty there. And then it's going to be taxed as ordinary income. And so it's like, man, and they also have this restriction that says like you can't touch it till age 59 and a half. Well, it's like, well, whose money really is it? Is it yours or is it Wall Street's? Right. That's the
Yeah. And
tricky
what
thing
if,
you got to ask yourself.
yeah. And the thing is, like, let's say you want to take a monster trip, or let's say you get sick, or let's say, I mean,
Yeah.
there's just so many question marks to it that I don't love. I understand the thinking behind it. I understand, why it was put in place,
Mhm.
but I do think it's, in my opinion, it's kind of a broken system. So I think
Yeah.
it's proven to not play out as well as they had expected. And so I always encourage people to look elsewhere. I mean, I'm not saying real estate's the only option. Obviously, there's a bunch of different ways to get where you're
Mhm.
going.
Yeah.
We just happen to like and know it. And so I always push that a little bit just because something I understand.
Yeah, totally.